Well, that didn't last long. Tesla stock is back in the green today, following yesterday's 4% decline based on Elon Musk's comments. You never want to bet against Tesla, especially not for a long time. We're going to go ahead and get into what in the world is going on today with Tesla stock. This Sweden strike is the main headline, and it looks like there's a bit of good and bad news. Tesla option activity looks favorable today. Tesla's charts look encouraging as well. We're going to get into all of this, including what Ray Dalio just said about U.S. government spending and what kind of problems we could be facing next. Fed Susan Collins also says there might be a need for an additional rate hike. We have all of this for you and much more. Do me a quick favor if you have not done so already. You already know what I'm going to say. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because it is free 99. And congratulations and shout out to all of you guys a part of the trading community that have hit all of these monster trades with us over the past 2 days or so. We just hit AMAT last night. That was a multi-100% winning trade. Target was an over 1,000% winning trade as well. If you guys would like to come join us, link down below in the description of this video. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this is probably the biggest thing that is affecting Tesla stock today, and one of the biggest reasons why Tesla is green today. This is from Sawyer Merritt. It says Tesla has released a statement on the Swedish strike situation. Quote, like many other companies, we have chosen not to enter into a collective agreement. More than 90% of our employees have chosen to remain in their positions, ready to welcome you to our delivery centers, service centers, and stores. This is actually via an email to Tesla owners in Sweden. So this is a little bit of good and bad news. There are obviously some organization efforts taking place in the Swedish region, but it looks like Tesla is not going to unionize in one shape or another. That's great news. If you can keep the Swedish unions away, well, you can probably keep all of the unions away, at least for now. The Chinese government has reportedly removed all signs that barred Tesla vehicles from some China government compounds. The Ministry of Commerce apparently said they removed them to encourage foreign-funded investments. This comes right after Elon Musk shook Xi Jinping's hand over in San Francisco within the last 24 hours. That could also be a reason why Tesla stock is in the green today. It looks like China continues to welcome Tesla with open arms. Hyundai will begin to sell its vehicles on Amazon in 2024. Hyundai will begin sales of its full portfolio of vehicles via the Amazon shopping platform in January. General Motors' self-driving technology unit, Cruise, has canceled its program that allows employees to cash out shares in the firm in the fourth quarter. Cruise CEO Kyle Vogt said in an email to employees on Thursday. It seems like Cruise is not planning to be operational anytime soon. This is contrary to what a lot of Tesla bulls would think. Bad news for Tesla, because it's not good news Cruise is going through these problems. It's going to make Tesla's hurdles, especially regulatory hurdles, probably a lot more intense and difficult, especially in that California region. Considering California as a standalone theoretical country would be the 5th largest economy in the world, well, it's an important region for robo-taxis down the line. Lucid Gravity is showing off their frunk that has back padding and cup holders, apparently for you to hang out, built for at least 2. And Tesla is making this pretty cool slideshow because they have now reached 1,000 superchargers in South Korea. And here is your 1,000th supercharger, cool little marked one. I mean that's kind of what we've seen with the 50,000th supercharger as well. So definitely hitting some milestones here. Elon Musk posted on September 4th, to be super clear, I'm pro free speech, but against anti-Semitism of any kind. And on September 4th, he said, since the acquisition, the ADL has been trying to kill this platform by falsely accusing it and me of being anti-Semitic. And look what has happened recently, just 2 months later. The Tesla Model Y remains the top spot for Canadian EV sales in Q3. According to new data from S&P Global released today, 13.3% or 1 1/8 of new vehicles registered in Q3 in Canada were zero-emission vehicles, which by definition includes hybrids and plug-in hybrid EVs. Overall, ZEVs now account for 19.4% of total light-duty vehicles registered. When looking at pure battery electric vehicles, BEVs, 10.1% of new all light-duty vehicle registrations during the third quarter were fully electric, the highest percentage ever, with overall volume increasing by 46.3%. These strong results gave BEVs a market share of 7.8% in the third quarter in Canada. We have another Tesla advertisement spotted on YouTube that says the world's best-selling car available starting at $399 a month. Sawyer Mara asks, which platform do you think Tesla should concentrate its advertising efforts the most? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I personally think individuals that watch television are the ones that probably know the least amount about Teslas. Maybe that's arbitrary because I live in Michigan and Teslas, well, are far and few in between. And basically, everyone I know watches television, but everyone I know knows nothing about Tesla. So maybe that's just my kind of field of references. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Tesla has posted a new campaign manager job in the US for what seems to be, among other things, an advertising related role. Tesla wants proven experience in managing comprehensive campaigns in a related industry, both paid and organic. The CM will orchestrate campaigns for expanding Tesla's customer base, overcoming perception challenges, and enhancing the conversion rates of car buyers into Tesla ownership. Cadillac has unveiled the design of its new entry-level EV called the Optic. It's expected to start under $60,000. GM gave no other details about it, but here is the look. And honestly, I don't hate it for the price point as long as it's under $60,000. If this could be like $40,000, $45,000, I think it could actually potentially do well. SpaceX has released a Starship Super Heavy Chrome model for $499. It is a metal-plated display model, a 1:150 scale, 18.75 inches tall, 1,066 grams or 2.35 pounds, shipping in Q2 2024. Just imagine how much these things are going to be worth years and decades down the line. Gary Black writes on X, Tesla investors need to focus on what matters. Soaring global EV adoption from 12% today to 60% by 2030, and new innovations like Cybertruck, FSD Level 4 autonomy, and a $25,000 EV can support Tesla volume growth of 30 to 35% and earnings growth of 40%. If so, investors should ignore the noise and own Tesla stock. Slovenia reported 76 Tesla sales and 2% market share for October, 76% Model Y and 21% Model 3. Year to date, this is 275% higher than the same period of last year. Now rumors are spreading in China that Tesla China will raise vehicle prices once again. They just recently raised prices by about $200 for the all-wheel drive Model 3, the lowest price variant of the Model 3, and also raised prices for about $300 for the lowest price variant of the Model Y. These were small price increases. I imagine another price increase would be much larger than that. This shows you, or will show you, if it happens, and I guess has already showed you because we've already seen prices go higher recently for the Model 3 and the Model Y, that demand is really good over in China. This is something I don't think Wall Street is expecting from Tesla. Prices to actually go higher in 2024. We're so accustomed to Tesla lowering prices. What happens when prices go higher? Tesla stock will go much higher. Tesla will deliver its first 10 Cybertrucks to customers at its Cybertruck delivery event on November 30th. And just like the Model 3, probably the first quarter's worth of Cybertruck production will go to employees first, just like the Model 3. So far today, you have seen 847 hedge fund institutional option trades worth $134.71 million with a positive order value of 53%. A look at the volume, 50.15% to the call side, 49.85% to the put side. So relatively strong today. Much better than the 36% positive order value that you seen yesterday. Ray Dalio says the US is reaching an inflection point where the debt problem quickly gets even worse, saying that economically strong means financially strong, and that the US government spent $659 billion on net interest cost in fiscal 2023 to finance the debt. Ray Dalio says, quote, "The worse that gets, the more we are going to have that long-term problem," he said. "You can see it in the numbers. It's just a matter of numbers. We are near that inflection point." What's even worse is data collected through January indicates that foreign holdings of US government debt total $7.4 trillion, down $253 billion or 3.3% over the past year. China in particular has cut its holdings strongly, pulling back 17% during the period. This is how things work. First, countries get rid of U.S. government debt, and then they question whether the U.S. dollar should be the reserve currency. This is not great. This in particular, the debt servicing issues, the just sheer amount of dollars the U.S. now has to spend on servicing debt, considering treasury yields are so high, well, that's a big reason markets are starting to price in rate cuts as well in 2024. And ultimately, we're going to see rate cuts sooner than a lot of people expect. For December and January, there is a 100% chance the Fed stays paused. But for March 20th, 2024, there is now a 28% chance that we get the first rate cut, a 72% chance that we continue to stay paused. By May 1st, 2024, you're pricing in your first rate cut. 56.7% are the odds. There's only a 25% chance that we continue to hold through May, and there is an 18.3% chance that we see 2 rate cuts by May. All in all, by November 6th, 2024, we're pricing in currently 3 rate cuts by the end of 2024. 1, 2, 3. There's a 32.7% chance of that. There is a 32.1% chance of 4 rate cuts by November, and a 14.3% chance of 5 rate cuts by November. That would take the Fed funds rate to between 4 and 4.25%. Today, we did get some data that came out. Building permits, preliminary numbers for October. This is probably what has your Russell 2000 doing so well today, up about 1.5%. A lot of interest rate sensitive companies like a Tesla are doing well today. The consensus was 1.45 million building permits for October. You came in at 1.487 million. So about 200,000 permits higher or so. A lot of these are for actual houses, and that's the problem now with inflation. It's all in housing. But there's a problem there. There's just not enough houses to bring down housing inflation. We're building less houses now than we did in 1960, when the population was less than half of what it is today. Of course there's housing inflation. Consider all of the immigration that we have seen over the past 4 years or so. Well, there's going to be more demand for housing. And basically everywhere you look, there's not enough rentals. There's not enough houses for sale. That's a problem the Fed cannot fix. So more building permits could lead to more housing, which could lead to less housing inflation. It's as simple as that. Ford union workers ratify UAW deal, closing out historic negotiations with the Detroit automakers. Susan Collins says more rate hikes can't be taken off the table yet. Good news is she is not a voting member of the rate-setting Federal Open Market Committee until 2025, so the markets did not care much about her comments today. Tesla inventory numbers are really falling for the Model S and the Model X. Your Model 3 and your Model Y are jumping up sharply though, which is interesting. Google Trends data indicates search trends for the Cybertruck are rocketing higher. Like I said yesterday, The Rock went on the Joe Rogan podcast, and those are probably individuals that watch that podcast that do not have any knowledge of the Cybertruck or very little knowledge of the Cybertruck, so it doesn't surprise me the search trend activity is ticking up. The Model 3 and the Model Y staying pretty flat, besides the Model 3 is falling quite a bit over the past week or so. And despite the new YouTube ads Tesla's running, they're still running a total of about 300 ads through Google, a vast majority of which are for the US, some are for Europe, and the rest, the smallest amount, are for Australia, mostly for energy and storage products. A new AI investor sentiment survey came out today, and the bulls increased from 42.6% to 43.8%. The level of neutral investors decreased by about 2%, but the amount of bears increased by about 1%, now to 28.1%. Overall, still looking very strong. The percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average sits at about 61%. The levels in which you've seen in July were about 76%. So you still have some room to make up ground there, but it does look like this market rally is no longer being led by the top, 10 or so largest companies in our markets. It's a broadening out rally of basically everything. And that's what you've wanted to see for a while now. This market is now a lot stronger than it previously was. Taking a look at Tesla on the charts, you did hit a low today of about $226 per share. Currently, Tesla stock is around $235 per share. That means that once Tesla started to fall back into the 220s, there was a lot of demand coming in. There was a lot of buyers coming in to buy Tesla stock, and you didn't even come close to your 200-day moving average at $222.30 per share. That is a very strong sign that Tesla bulls are back in control of the stock. The next major hurdle to break above is $240 per share. That is your 50-day moving average right here, coincidentally around that gap fill level of about $242. So above there, I see a pretty clear shot to 250 and then higher. Next week, you don't have a lot of economic data. There's not much on the calendar that's going to move things around. So we're probably entering into a digestion phase of lower CPI, lower PPI, a little bit worsening economic data than maybe some people were expecting, and ultimately just a leveling out period to try to figure out what this means. Ultimately, I think this is bullish, and Tesla will be bullish over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months. If you look at the RSI, you're still pretty much at neutral at 54.35, which does support Tesla stock could go higher from here, and the MACD looks pretty dang bullish as well. Let me know what you guys think on all of this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel on your way out of this video, and consider joining the trading community, link down below in the description of this video. It's never a financial recommendation, it's never financial advice. I just document what I am personally doing, and so far so good. The last couple of days we've hit a 1,000% trade. I believe it was like 400% trade this morning with AMAT earnings, and PayPal, well, that trades down a little bit, but we have some time on that, so I think that one's going to be good in the longer term sense of that trade. So come join us if you guys want to be a part of it. Link down below in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekends. My name is Michael Tyler, and I will see you at 9 p.m. tonight.